Y'all, I was recording for like 5 minutes and my microphone wasn't even on. Hi, I'm Sophia. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to show you everything that I am going to read for the rest of the year. So October, November, and December. So I would have liked to do like pick my TBR with me, or like a TBR jar or prompts, stuff like that, because I think those are super fun and I love watching those kinds of videos. However, if you guys have seen my previous video, I am now on a book buying ban. I will not be buying any new books until I read every single book on my physical TBR. I also, before I started my booktube channel, had joined a bunch of the Storygraph reading challenges. I had already picked out a bunch of books from there, and I kind of wanted to stick to it. So I'm going to show you guys everything that I have planned to read for the rest of the year. First up, we have The Son of Neptune by Rick Riordan. He is naked right now because I don't read hardcovers with the dust jackets on. I think it's super uncomfortable. If you read hardcovers with the dust jacket on, I'm watching you. I loved the first book. I gave it 5 stars. I'm really enjoying this one because this one actually starts following Percy. We followed Jason in the first one, and I love Greek mythology. These books just feel like a warm hug to me. I love Rick Riordan's writing. So the first reading challenge that we're going to get into is the Storygraph's Onboarding Reading Challenge of 2024. First prompt is to read a book from a 5-star selection of one of your similar users. I picked Pride and Prejudice, the manga classics version. I love Pride and Prejudice. That is my favorite Jane Austen novel, so I'm really excited. I've read like the first 50 pages of that one already. Next up, we have Read a Storygraph recommendation from out of your comfort zone. That is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I haven't read a single Taylor Jenkins Reid book, but I own like 5 of them because the book girlies got me. So literary fiction is a new genre for me, but I read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and I absolutely loved it. And I've been picking up more literary fiction books just because I think it's going to be a new favorite genre of mine. So I'm excited to try that. I think I'll really like it. The next prompt is the Reading Challenge random number game, where you pick a number between 1 and 12, and then you pick like a category of reading challenges depending on that number, and then you pick a book that fills that prompt. I don't remember what number I picked, but the book that I picked was A Phoenix First Must Burn. And this is a short story compilation edited by Patrice Caldwell, and it says on the back here that it is 16 tales that explore the Black experience through fantasy, science fiction, and magic, coming together in one stunning narrative of hope. Fantasy, science fiction, magic, that's everything that I love. So the next prompt is read a book from your to-read pile, starting with the first letter of your name, and I picked Starters by Lissa Bryce. This is a science fiction novel, if I'm not mistaken. I have owned this book for like 10 years. So it looks like it follows Callie, who lost her parents when the Spore Wars wiped out everybody between the ages of 20 and 60. So it's her and her brother Tyler. They're on the run, and Tyler's sick. Her only hope to like help her brother is to like rent out her body. There was a movie, I think it was called like Selfless or something like that, a couple of years ago, where it's like this wealthy guy rented these people's bodies, and it's kind of giving that. So I own that and the second book. It's part of a duology, so I'm hoping I like it. The next prompt we have is read a book you discovered via the Buddy Reads or read-alongs page. So I took a look on that, and one of the first books that popped up was Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Now, I have read Daydream by Hannah Grace, and that was a 5-star read for me. Like, I loved Hallie and Henry, so I'm really excited to see Anastasia and Nate. I almost said Noah. And then the last prompt for Storygraph's Onboarding Reading Challenge is to read a book from your next up recommendations. And what actually popped up was Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I read some classics every now and again. I think I've read 3 classics so far this year. So this one's a little beat up, as you can tell. I got this secondhand quite a while ago, so I'm excited to give it a shot, see if I like it. And then the next up, I am trying to finish the A to Z challenge. I have done pretty good already. Storygraph says I have completed 77%. I've only got a couple of letters to go. The first of which being E for Enders. This is the second book after Starters in the duology, so not much to say about that. So the next letter we have for the A to Z challenge is K, and I picked Comey Can't Communicate. It's a manga series. I think it's just like a regular slice of life, like romance. I have the first 3 volumes, as you can tell, so I put all 3 on that list. Then the next up, I actually had a really hard time picking this one. It's the letter Q. Originally, I picked Queen of the Tierling. I'll show that right here. I don't want to bust it out of my shelves back there. But it's the first book in a series, and I don't own the rest of the books, so I changed my mind, and I actually picked a manga that I have, which is Qualia the Purple. It is a Yuri romance, like science fiction. It's chunky. It's like 600 pages. I'm excited to give that one a shot, and that was my choice for Q. And then for R, I picked Red Riding Hood. This is by it's just a Red Riding Hood retelling, it sounds like. I bought this one pre-owned like 10 years ago, so it's time to either read it or unhaul it. So I actually have U and X to go. However, I did cheat a little bit and I picked the same book for both of them, The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. Now, I saw these going viral like on BookTube a couple years ago, and I have a couple of her books, but I haven't read them, and this guy's a chonker. This is a young adult romance, and it is 519 pages. Like, that is a lot. That's a lot of pages for a young adult romance. It's a book that I have had for a long time, and it just needs to be read or unhauled. Do you have anything to add to the video, Susie? Riveting. Now, the last reading challenge that I am in is the Storygraph Genre Challenge. I've already completed about 70% of it, but the last couple of prompts that I have, one is a nonfiction book about psychology. I picked out another book that I've had for like 6 years, Murderous Minds by Dean A. Haycock. I've always been a fan of psychology and like true crime. It says on the front here that it explores the criminal psychopathic brain, neurological imaging, and the manifestation of evil. I'm excited to dig into that one. It's not too long either. It's only like a little over 200 pages. So that'll be really interesting. I hope it's interesting at least. The next prompt that we have is a science fiction or dystopian book by a woman or non-binary author. I picked The Adoration of Jenna Fox, and it is a super shiny cover. Yeah, I don't even really know what this is about. It's another book that I've owned for way too many years that's just sat there and not been read. But yeah, it's a little book, so I thought might as well read it or unhaul it. It's a young adult science fiction about 17-year-old Jenna, who's just awoken from a year-long coma. Apparently, she's been recovering from like a terrible accident. She's been given home movies chronicling like her whole life, which like brings some memories, but then she's, second guessing if these memories are really hers, and it sounds pretty interesting. There is one more prompt in this challenge actually, which is to read a short story collection by a Black author. I double dipped and I put The Phoenix First Must Burn on there again. But yeah, that is everything that I am going to be reading in the months of October, November, and December, which is a total of 16 books. So I think that is pretty ambitious. I've definitely seen people with more, like Destiny Sidwell, I think had like 20 or something that she wanted to read in the fall. I'm really excited to keep reading. I have definitely had like one of the best reading years. So thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you stayed this long and watched this video and the last video and the video before that. I really appreciate it. I do have links below in my description as well to help support Palestine if you guys are able to take a look at that. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind commenting, liking the video, subscribing, all of that fun YouTube stuff. I'll see you guys around. Have a great night. Bye.